good evening, and welcome to this Sunday, June 27th edition of the Island Stats Cricket Show. I'm your host, Earl Basin, and join me, our co-host, Andre Doc Manders and Dean Miners. Well, guys, two things. We have cricket, and we have cup match. But more importantly, we have Doc playing cricket.
Oh yeah.
No, Dean, ask him because Doc played his first match over in the UK. So go ahead, ask him, Dean. I was waiting for this live.
All right. First of all, Doc, did you last the whole game?
I did.
Okay, well that's positive.
Last the whole game.
Hold up. I'm gonna warm up. Doc, did you bowl?
Yes, I did.
Okay. What was your analysis?
I think it was 3 for 18 or something like that. 20.
3 for 18.
You remember I'm playing?
What was it? A 20? Was it a 20-20 game or a 50 over game?
No, over 40s.
Okay.
40 overs.
And what? Sorry.
Over 40s. Over 50s. I'm sorry. Over 50 lead. And it's
okay. And what
overs.
was the format? Okay.
40 overs.
40 overs. 8
40
overs.
overs.
For
Okay.
Like,
Okay. Now the question that we really want to know is, how many runs did you get?
12.
You got 12.
12. Yeah. Got a run.
That's good. That's a good start.
Yeah, my first hit. Because you remember when I came over, I had to quarantine for 8 days.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Right.
just being out and playing, it was good. So
Yeah.
But the building was on point, I guess, Dean.
Yes.
yeah.
So I'm only assuming that within those 8 days, you were doing shadow cricket in the mirror.
That's it.
Okay.
But I was allowed outside. So I did do, I went outside to do a little bit of walking.
Okay.
You know.
Good stuff. So you're looking forward to the next game. When would that be?
Next week, Tuesday. We play
Tuesday.
in Buckinghamshire.
Okay.
Depending on the weather, it's a little rainy out there now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm trying
Well,
to
let me
get
just
to
say,
Sussex.
huh?
I was trying to get to Sussex game too. See Delray play
Oh, yes.
in July, so I had to keep you guys abreast of that too.
Yes. Well, let me just say our guest for this evening, unfortunately, is unavailable. It was Gus Logie. But I know there's a lot of people sitting here waiting for us to talk about Cup Match. It's on. And want to get an update on the scores that we have so far. So let me quickly go with the latest scores at Southampton Oval. Bayliss Bay scored 160 for 7, and currently Willocots are 88 for 5 with 4 overs to go. Southampton Rangers scored 175. We'll get into the details later of individual scores. And St. David's are 137 for 5 with 1 over to go. They need 37 runs or 39 runs off of the final over. We don't have an update from the Wellington Oval as of yet, but once we get it, we'll be able to add it to that. But obviously the news that we got an about face for the Somerset Cricket Club to now agree to play the match. I know you guys had reservations about players not being playing and the like, but now that it's on, what was your initial thoughts when you heard Cup Match was back on? And I'll start with you, Dean.
All right. Thanks, Earl. When I heard that, it took me by surprise. It really took me by surprise. Much would have had to be considered for Somerset to do a 360 turn. It probably had to be, some convincing. I only would have assumed that they would have spoke to the players and said, listen, how do you guys feel about this? But I was a bit like everyone else. I mean, to be honest with you, I was a bit shocked by the whole 360 U-turn and accepting the challenge. Talking to a few of the Somerset fans, few of them were sort of in between minds as well. I talked to one fan, they were just like, I don't think they should. And then talking to another fan, their thing was that the Somerset team was so strong that for them to not accept the invitation, was a bit of surprise to them, because they felt that over the past, I would say 5 years, Somerset have really dominated, so that was my take on it. But I'm so glad that they did accept the challenge. I know it must have come with some deep thought process and much consideration. But yeah, we have cricket. Cricket has started, so it's a lot to be considered.
Yeah. What about you, Doc?
Yeah, I was a little bit. I wasn't surprised because I did talk to a few people, from Somerset, and a few of them was the players, and the players that I talked to, a lot of them did want to play, and my thing was asking them like, what have you been doing to be playing on a big day, 2 days to get in shape, right? And also, what about the protocols and everything that's going to take place too? Are you guys, going to be, because some people don't want to get vaccinated, we know that. Some players don't even like taking the COVID test. So, that was my first question to most of the players, and they was all willing to do it. So I said, okay, well, maybe you should mention it, to the top brass, or and because I heard Neil Panther's statement, like we're saying that about the player situation, that a lot of the players didn't want to play, but that wasn't the case. Most of the players did want to play. So I'm thinking, it was probably maybe the members and the committee that probably just needed to meet with the players to see where they was at, and maybe they came to some type of agreement. But I'm kind of glad that they are playing, but I just hope that everything works out with the protocols, they have to do, and that's like on and off the field, with the bubble, and I haven't been privy to all the rules and regulations, what they're going to be doing, because both cup match teams have their own meetings with the officials, I guess. So I'm just glad that maybe Somerset looked at it again. They probably looked at some of the protocols and said, look, we probably could do this, looking at the safety of the players, safety of everybody. Maybe they decided to play, in the best interest of the country, trying to keep the same tradition that cup match from playing. We're not going to have all, what goes on, like people running on the field. I don't know if that's going to happen, and stuff like that. But it's going to be interesting too, because I don't know what the clubs has decided to do, with those type of protocols, like on off the field. We know hand sanitizers and all that's going to be in play, because when I'm playing in the UK, they do it every 8 overs. When the ball goes off the field, that ball has to be they clean that ball up, or sometimes they don't even use it, they have an extra ball, so they're going to have to do all that too. But like I said, I'm happy that they are playing. So now we just have to get these players, even though we're playing T20, these guys still they're going to have some cup match trials. So hopefully, they perform in the day they the cup match trials. Hopefully they get 2 in. The way I'm looking at it, they might be able to get 2 cup match trials here, both cups, which is good.
Yeah, so, and just make them the open format. Yeah. Well, the other thing is having the players willing to play those matches, because as you know, guys will dock. Remember back in you guys' time, you were playing 5 trial matches. You had to play at least 3 of them to be considered. Now we're down to just 1 for the most part. Remember, Dean, you played for Cleveland Man's Trophy. That was
Yes.
against Bailey's Bay.
Yeah.
There was a trophy against St.
Outstanding
David's, right?
Yep, that's right.
And then it was two inter-squad trials, and then the final trial.
And final trial, that's right.
Yeah.
I want to say, was it the Turkey? It's not the Turkey.
Turkey. What was it? Turkey Hill, Turkey something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, you had to. Yeah, it was mandatory.
And the thing was, St. David's was using that for a trial for county.
That's right. That's what they.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, most of the times. I mean, I still remember. And Bayless Bay would use the Calvin Wade Memorial as a trial match for their county.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
For the preparing their players for their county games.
Yeah.
So and also, I mean, I know that we're on about cup match, but also at the same time, county game is one and Western County is one.
Mm-hmm.
So it's more opportunity also for players. That all forms of the game that they'll be able to more opportunity, to get in and play. But I hope that those players do make themselves available, because with the lack of cricket that they haven't played,
there's an opportunity to spend time at the beginning. There's an opportunity to build those extra overs, get your body used to it. It's an opportunity. Yeah. Well, let's get into today. Again, cricket got underway today. We have a comment early. How many real cricket fans were out today? Not many from what this person has seen. It's Alison Russell. A safe key for open air cricket. They were asking at some points for safe key to be allowed in. Again, I just think the officials wanted to get cricket up and running. So regardless of what the authorities were telling them, they just said, okay, we'll go ahead and do it. But I was at Lord's for a bit, and people were, distanced if they weren't together kind of thing. And I mean, we got to start giving people the responsibility that they do have and they respect. You know what I mean? So I just think more discussions has to be held with health officials and government officials to kind of let people really understand that, this is not going to be forever, but outside, you
don't want to put that fear into people, whereas they cannot come and they cannot sit and congregate and do those sort of things. But like you said, at the end of the day, to definitely be mindful, because as a cricket fan, you're going to a game and you're telling me, no, I've got to be considerate of all these other things. It when I go to a game, it's completely different. I'm in a different mindset. So I think those protocols would have to be brought to the table, spoken to the fans, and then they have some understanding and they can give some feedback as well. I mean, I think that just putting those protocols in place and just saying, okay, you guys have to be mindful of this, I think some dialogue has to be definitely considered. Really considered.
Yeah. But I know one thing for sure, the officials for cup match, the officials for counties are speaking directly with the government officials. And I guess they could use or utilize what the cricket board's been using. I know this is only the first week, but obviously you got to go back to them after the first week, because there's going to be good things, there's going to be some negative things. And those are the things that the clubs have to quickly get together. I think they should meet maybe on Tuesday, what worked, what didn't work, because it's only going to help each other next week, and then the following week, and then the following week. But we have to be all in the same room singing from the same hymn book, because it doesn't make any sense if there was a problem at Rangers that was a problem in St. David's and one or the other sorted it out really, really quick, but the other didn't know and didn't sort it out. You won't know because you haven't had that chance to talk about it. You know what I mean? So I honestly think that the board should get with the clubs this week as soon as they possibly can to have that talk, what went right, what went wrong, not necessarily the game. Don't worry about the game. How did you make out with whatever really requirements were on the gate? What did you see in the fans? All that type of stuff has to be discussed to ensure that come next Sunday and before next Sunday, a press release is sent out saying A, B, C, D, E, F. You know what I mean? So yeah, we've got to get to the point where we're communicating with everyone a lot better and a lot earlier to ensure that not only the players understand what the rules are, but also the spectators, because it all makes the game. You know what I mean?
It does. It does.
Yeah.
It does. Earl,
Doc,
let
me ask Doc a quick question. So Doc, at the game that you played, what were the restrictions for the spectator? You played at a park, right?
Big pardon?
You played at a park, right?
Yes. No, we played at a club ground. But all the club grounds, like what they do in the UK, you can't get a shower after the game, but you can use the bathrooms, but it's only just for the players. That's like, I guess, cup match is going to be, right?
Right.
It's people that's wrong that you can't stop people from watching. Sometimes it is, it's a big field and, people have a tendency to walk around. But they're not allowed to use the clubhouse, only just for the cricketers. And that's the rules of not, I guess, there's the protocols that they have. So I'm assuming that cup match will probably be the same thing. And each time you have to hand sanitize it. It's like everything that you do, they have.
So what is the requirement? What is the requirement for you to play?
Well, actually, they don't have no safe key, but they do ask if you're vaccinated.
Okay.
And then most of the players are tested too. They get tested. I don't know if it's every week, but I know at the over 50 levels, the over 50s, most of the guys are vaccinated. They get tested every 2 weeks.
Okay.
Now for the local cricket, it's a little different because there's the younger teams. So, but it's basically the same rules, that they play, and still nobody in the pavilion. You can't shower, so you play again. You have to, and then at tea, you bring your own tea. They're trying to everybody just space out. That's all the protocols they have for the game.
Right.
To play, and everybody agreed to it.
So you have your lunchbox. So you have your lunchbox with your 2 slices of bread.
Yes.
Your lettuce.
Cucumber.
You have it, Earl.
Yeah.
And my chips.
Yeah.
And my drink. But see, I don't know how it's going to be. I don't know if they do the same rules and they teach many down here. I don't know what rules they know, but I know they have to have that safe key for the players to play. They have to have it.
Yeah.
If not, they can't play. And then for the fans too, they have to have that safe key. To come in. Oh, you're vaccinated.
But here's a funny. What happens if the club bartender and or a club official at the grounds is not vaccinated? Who's checking that safe key? What if a groundsman's not? Who's checking that?
You mean?
Very good
You
question.
mean in Bermuda?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Very good question. It's a very good question. I
Well, there should be.
Earl, I was.
There's the protocols in it, so something needs to be done about that too.
Yeah.
I think no. I think it's very important that, and I know we're talking about. There are 2 sides of this that we're talking about. One is the administrative side, and I think, Earl, I think you're so right. We have to get that done as quickly as possible, in great speed. And the other part is for the players as well, because I'm thinking for these players that are going to put on a good performance, especially during cup match and especially during county games, and even leading up to that, I think that the mental state of the players is going to be so important.
Yes.
Because you're going to start, let's hypothetically say, and then we're talking about it now. If a player goes out today and doesn't score runs, the pressure's already on.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean, Doc? The pressure is already on, that has already been applied to the player. No, you don't want to get
runs.
Yeah, and you don't want that player to start to feel pressure, or say, oh, all of these protocols are on my head. I don't know what, you want to eliminate all the excuses as quickly as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Like today I was hearing that, player who's going to be on the selection committee. There's going to, so really and truly, if we don't get this fixed as quickly as possible, then again, how are you going to be able to have players to have a great performance or put in a great performance?
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's one of the things that I really wanted to, discuss tonight with Gus, is like, as a coach, how do you now prepare your players in this midst of a hurricane, or I don't know what you want to call it, a hurricane? How do you prepare them mentally to prepare themselves for cup match and prepare themselves for county game and these matches? Because each match right now is almost like a trial match.
Mm-hmm.
You're still playing 2020, but how do you now prepare your mind and say that? And I don't care what people say, and they might go ahead and say, oh, well, it's just 2020. No, it's not. Because everything is going to be taken into consideration.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we now get our players in that quick frame of mind to do this?
Every time you bowl, every time you bat, you are auditioning for a spot in either your county team or the cup match team. Every time you fail in both categories, you're auditioning for a spot in your county team and your cup match team.
And Earl, and I'm glad that you made this point, because I heard someone say today, they were just like, well, it's just a game. Oh, it's just for the occasion. Oh, it's just for that. But as a player, that mindset is totally different. And I don't think that, and I've heard people say it all week, oh, we got cup match back on. Oh, we got county game back. It's good for cricket. Yes, it is good for cricket. But no, you have to get into that headspace of the player and say, listen, we need you to play at your best performance, but don't put too much pressure on yourself, because we want to see good cricket.
Right. We have another question or a comment. Should teams, officials, and all those working at cup match be put into a bubble? Well, yes and no. Well, I say yes and no only because we're doing weekly cricket now, and the players are not in a bubble. So I know cup match, county, those are the bigger events. But if they're not in a bubble playing regular cricket, putting them in a bubble for cup match and county and those games alike, the protocols are now changing for the same sport, just a different event. But that's open to all sorts of conversations. But I think if we're putting players in a bubble and officials in a bubble for that particular match, what are the protocols that are they going by every week to play? What are the differences? Yeah, we have another one here. Players' preparation aside, what is the view from the panel on how the club prepares the club, grounds, and all other aspects in such a short space of time? Week before last, it was mentioned these activities start right after the prior cup match. Well, in the press conference that St. George's Cricket Club President Neil Painter had, they had already started preparing getting things in order for cup match in January. And obviously all that would have stopped when Somerset first declined, and now have, accepted the challenge. The only thing is the physical structure of what it would look like, because all the other things behind the scenes, such as the truck that comes in for the ice and all that other stuff around for the club cleaning and all that, they would have already had those people pretty much, already sewn up. It's the scaffolding that goes with it, the other touch-ups around the club. I think that's the point I think the person is making. But I think with whatever scaled down version of it, I think they could pull it off, because they're going to have, or they should have, the help of every agency possible to get it to work.
Well, Earl, has anything been released from the club to talk about whether it be the distance of the tents, or has anything talked about setting up of the camps? Has anything been discussed as it relates to that? Have we?
Nothing of that yet. Nothing of that yet.
So they're still working on the logistics of the spatial awareness during the event and everything. Right.
I guess they'll get to that. And yes, and Mr. Simons, yes, we are talking thousands versus hundreds, which is the point. And that's why I said I was saying yes, and I was saying no. I just wanted to. I didn't want to shut the door and say they should be in a bubble or not should be in a bubble, because I was trying to show how this week you have 6 games and they're not in a bubble, as opposed to cup match. You have, obviously, you're going to have more people. You're going to have plenty more people in one location, and depending on what the rules are for them, and I think they will be put into some sort of a bubble. The players, the officials, I think they will be, because technically nowadays, well, before the pandemic, they were in a sort of a bubble, because they spend from the Wednesday through this Friday in a hotel, so they're together. Yeah.
Well, the other thing is, Earl, I mean, if the players are consistently getting tested, prior to, I wouldn't even say every weekend, because all players have to be tested, right?
Yes.
So if they're constantly being tested, I totally agree with that. I mean, to go ahead and to put them in a bubble.
Yeah.
To make sure that they are pretty much safe, because there's so many things that actually go on around cup match time. The week before, there are different activities that go on. So, like you said, at the end of the day, to expose them in those environments will be, like you said, could be detrimental to them and their players.
Yeah.
So, like I said, my point of view is, I totally agree.
I would imagine, Doc, as a coach, if you were coaching either team, you would want to speak with both clubs to kind of have rules in place in the event that the morning of or the day before one of your players comes up positive. So. Yep. You're going to have what I consider alternate players, because as we know, when they pick reserves, they pick a reserve. They 9 times out of 10, they pick a reserve that's, some young person that they just kind of want to either lock in or just give the opportunity. But that person might not be the person you want to go on the field at any time other than to take water.
That's interesting, Earl, because you said if one player gets it, that's either you're talking about prior to cup match, or like test. Okay, well, that's interesting, because they're going to need to name at least a bigger squad if that happens.
Mm-hmm.
Because if one player gets it before cup match, you got to remember they're still training together. So that means if it's been around the other players, that means the whole team, but the whole team will have to get tested anyway.
Right.
So, that's interesting. I mean, I'm thinking at least a week before cup match, maybe 2 weeks before, they must know the 15 players that's going to play cup match. Both teams.
Right.
So they need to keep those 15 players, like, I wouldn't say not in a bubble, but like they had to tell them, look, if you guys get tested for COVID, you can't play. It's
Right.
simple as that. They won't be able to play anyway. But so the onus is going to be on them to say, look, well, I can't go. I'm not saying they can't go anywhere, but they're going to have to be real cautious of what they do if they want to play cup match.
Right.
Because it's tricky, man. You just in the league. I was thinking in the if one of the players in the T20 gets it, just say one or two players gets it, they might just cancel the league because it could be that player was wrong. This it could be a domino effect because in the tournaments, the under 19, I tell you guys, in the under 19 tournaments at the
Yes.
if somebody gets it, their team's kicked out, the whole team out of the tournament. So I don't know if they're going to do that down here.
But Doc, that's a little bit different because wouldn't that be different? I mean, if they're kicked out of the whole tournament, but everyone's staying in the same hotel, wouldn't they do that for them staying in the same hotel? I mean, it's because everyone could be, they're all living in the same, but our players are living different.
Well, remember, if one person gets the whole team's got a quarantine anyway for 2 weeks, so they had to be kicked out.
Yeah, which is true. Anyway. Yeah.
But I'm just thinking down here, see, I'm not privy to the but the meetings between St. George's and Somerset, what they hear, concerning to play this match. We still don't know like all the protocols what's going to be happening on those 2 days.
Yeah.
Cool. Like Norbert said, we're not dealing with 100 people. We're dealing with I heard it. First we heard it was 2,000 people. Now it's 4,000.
Yes, it is increasing.
For cup match.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of more people. So
exactly.
You're gonna have to try to protect those players in somehow, some way. That's my only thing, and how to do it, we really don't know. So I'm thinking when they had that meeting between St. George's and Somerset, the last meeting, where Somerset agreed, it must have been something where the players might have felt, the club officials and the players might have felt safe, and in the event this happens, so it would be nice to know all the protocols. I mean, it's going to be a lot in there that a lot of the players might not agree to, but they'll have to.
I just think. I just think right now the both clubs are trying to figure out what is the most important thing to get done right now, and they have to start doing that, and then everything else kind of falls into place. I know everybody wants to know what's the protocols. Everybody wants to know who and how to get a ticket. You know what I mean? And all of that is it could be for the club, that could be second. We need to make sure we have this first. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of talk because now check this out. No one is pressured Western County or Eastern County to find out what their protocols are. Everybody's asking what cup match is, and it is played after those two. Think about it.
I'm sure that they have some protocols too.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that Western County will probably utilize what the board has right now. Yeah. Eastern County, because they had quite a bit more people at their game, will have to get other protocols put in place, just like cup match. So I guess those things are being worked on behind the scenes. And again, we don't even know if they're getting an answer from the health department in regards to what is required. I know now that the Department of Youth, Sport, and Recreation, I can say that, are handling the large group exemptions in that regard, but with the health protocols that are still needed for I guess, a big event such as cup match, such as county, they still have to have some involvement. But are they getting the answers?
I was thinking the other day that Earl, I know, I don't know if I overheard. One of the things is I think there's going to be a priority list, and my assumption the priority list will start from, of course, the players, the officials, the dignitaries, and then work themselves down to, of course, the members of the clubs, and then after that, after the members of the clubs, and then you just basically go out to the general public. So I'm only assuming that was the list, because I've had a few people come up to me and say, okay, where can I buy a ticket? And what is it going to be for the general public? How are they going to, and then are they really going to go ahead and monitor the number of people that are going to be coming inside the gate? So I was just, I was only assuming that it would be scaled down, in that respect.
Yeah, because remember now, if they're going to do tickets, they're going to have to get with a company that does that, right? Cost has to be worked out.
Yes.
Rules have to be worked out. Legal stuff has to be worked out. All of that. So it's not going to be an overnight sort of thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then, as Mr. Simons just indicated, both counties have to get large group exemptions and have health protocols. So the one thing is you get this large group exemption, but you still have to wait for the protocols. You know what I mean? So if you're getting one thing moved forward, but the other thing is kind of delayed because they have to look at it and analyze it and discuss it and so forth. I'm not sure what the health department in regards look at to see what they'll allow you to do, but it's not, that is another thing that's not overnight. They just don't do it like that. You know what I mean? So if they're, because their job is to look out for the health and safety of not just the players, but everybody attending the event, to ensure that if everybody follows the rules, it'll be a safe event. Yeah. So, rather interesting.
I'm thinking of that everybody that's attending the event to be safe. You know what I mean? We're all worrying about the players, but they got to worry about the spectators,
as well,
visitors. Everybody. You wanted to go. I wanted to go. Well, I mean, everybody won the cup match, so we still have to, do what we're supposed to do. And then hopefully it's a Gold Cup match. I mean, everybody's waiting for 2 days of cricket. That nice tradition. Crown and anchor and stuff. But we still have to do our part. Everyone has to do their part.
Let me ask you guys an interesting question, because you guys would spend 2 days out in the middle, whether you're batting, feeling out, or whatever. You ever say to yourself, man, I can't wait to finish playing this game so I can be up under that tent playing Crown and Anchor?
So many times. So many times. Especially looking at it like a 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and you got somebody like Doc just padding up, and it's just, it's just like,
come on, man, let's go.
Hey, listen, Somerset have the cup, Doc's padding up, and I'm behind with these wicket-keep gloves. My hands are blistering, my feet are sweating, and and it's just, waving to the boundary. Can I get some more water? A batsman go for water, right? So he just gets a little bit of water, then turns, looks at us, puts a lime of cold on his back, and just keeps batting. So those were the times that I just decided, I was like, you know what? Like, why am I out here? Like, what am I doing? But yes, Earl, yes, you do. Those moments come when you're trying your best to get a wicket during cup match, and you really have to dig deep. And why it was like that for me is because the wicket keepers, you're supposed to be the drumbeat of the team. Well, listen, mate, I had to go deep, and you're trying to encourage the players to keep going.
Right.
But then this is when it's really difficult because when it's hot, and like you said, you got somebody like Doc that's batting. And
Doc saying no. Doc saying that weren't him.
hey, listen, man.
Hey,
listen.
You know something? It's interesting. Dean, you said that, right? I'm saying to myself, when I've been playing, I never had the trophy. St. George's had the trophy, right? So I had no time to pad up. What time I had to, we had to go up here trying to do quick runs. You know who he's talking about. His players. I'm gonna tell you, look. Randall and Clay were back all day.
And Calabash.
And they were press out me son 4 and 5. So if anybody that can't wait to get off the field, it was us.
Well, remember, your brother got out in the first over, so they put up shutters.
True.
Yeah.
Hey,
wow. That was a long
hey, listen. Hey, listen. When things started to get bad in our change room, and Ricketts used to fall, we used to sing Calabash. The minute that Calabash used to go over the rope, you used to see some of the players' heads go straight down. Yeah, go straight down. And they'd be like, "Why did you guys do this, man? Why did you send us by out there?" Be calling, put up the shutters, Cala.
Well, actually, the game in St. David's has finished. Southampton Rangers won by 36 runs. Again, Southampton Rangers scored 175, and St. David's got 139 for 6 in their 20 overs. Top scorer for Southampton Rangers, the old man himself, Gennaro Tucker, 90 off of 42 balls, 9 fours, 7 sixes. Ricardo Bringman was the top scorer for St. David's with 40 off of 29. He had 4 fours and 2 sixes. Let me just say this here, because I think St. David's won the toss and sent Rangers to bat. So the Tucker boys opened. Batman was at the crease. Kwame Tucker was at the crease, mate. He scored 25 off of 15, hitting 3 fours and 2 sixes.
But you know what, Earl? The thing about this 2020 cricket, I'm really surprised at the scores that are coming in, because thinking that these guys haven't played in quite some time, Doc, I honestly thought that they would have been even par, like 120 would have been 120, 130 would have been a good score because they haven't played in some time. But Earl's schooling all scores like these guys have been playing all season, 170. You're talking about 160. I mean, these are scores that are so encouraging because you're talking about.
Let me just say this, Dean. Let me just say this. The bowling left a lot to be desired, mate.
Okay.
Trust me.
Well, I would have to look at how many wides and how many no balls and.
Yeah, let me see if I can actually get that.
It's interesting you said that, Dean, because I was thinking about the wickets, the grounds, like
exactly
the preparation because it was a short time, short time. But obviously the wickets must be pretty good too.
Well, this is what I'm thinking, and I would have thought that it would have been more bowling assisted, right? Yeah. Because you haven't played. But when you talk about
early in the season,
So in Southampton Rangers' inning, St. David's bowled 5 wides. They gave up 12 extras, and in the St. David innings, Southampton Rangers gave up 22 wides. They gave up 27 extras.
Oh. Wow. Okay.
Nairobi 5 wides. Charles Trott 4 wides. Malachi 3 wides. Gennaro 1 wide. Yeah.
Right. So there you have it, Doc. In a sense that I would have thought that the bowling in the analysis, the bowling in many of the teams would have been a little bit. Of course, wayward, but even still, seeing seeing batsmen struggle a little bit. So that's why I was saying I'm really impressed with the batting scores. That's amazing. And I mean, like you said, for Gennaro to score 90,
Well,
I mean, wow.
you could say Gennaro and Kwame experienced batsmen.
Exactly.
Right.
That was
Yes.
Right.
But interesting to see the other scores like St.
Yeah.
George's or Somerset. What
Right.
what's
The
scores
Bayless
in
Bay and Willicott game is over. Bayless Bay won by 55 runs. Bayless Bay scored 160 for 7. Willicott were 105 for 9 in their 20 overs. Jordan Burgess was the top scorer for Bayless Bay, scoring 52 off of 33 deliveries, hitting 3 4s and 4 6s. Quasi James was the top scorer for Willicott with 40 off of 44 balls. He had 2 4s and 3 6s. Let me just check to see if I can find the extras given up in both innings. So in the Bayless Bay inning, Willicott bowled 8 wides, and in the Willicott innings, Bayless Bay bowled 7 wides. So yeah, and 2 no balls. So interesting time. Yeah. So that was more of the par. The 2 chasing teams, Dean, what I heard you say earlier was what you had thought the scores would be. St. David's getting the 136, 139, and Bayless Bay, Willicott's getting 105. Those were the scores you thought would be early in the inning or the season. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, at the start of the season, you like you say, you're looking for early par. You're looking for 120, 130, right? Because you haven't had a hit, you haven't had a bull, so those sort of things. But to see those scores is amazing. Absolutely amazing. That's good stuff.
Yeah. And as the scores come in, we will update more.
I'm not really surprised by the wides too, because a lot of guys had much practice bowling too. But you'll probably see after the next few games the wides and all that will probably start to
come down.
Stop too.
Yeah,
it'll probably come down a lot. But my main thing was like the wickets. Like I heard that Ward scored 200 today too,
right,
against Devonshire. So obviously the groundsman must be doing something, to the wickets, because that was my major concern, being that it was a quick start. So that's good that the grounds have been prepared properly. So that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it hasn't had a lot of rain, so we haven't had a lot of rain. So it just that's also good for the pitch as well.
Definitely. There was we're waiting for those other scores to come in, but interesting enough. We'll analyze a lot of the individual scores, who's getting runs, who's getting wickets. As the season goes on, but again, you're auditioning for a spot. I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure those guys that are playing for Bayless Bay, the youngsters, especially the youngsters, are auditioning. And St. David. Well, St. David's play flats the first round of the Eastern County. Warwick, the defending champions, play Somerset Bridge in their Western County opener. So, of course, my good friend Dennis Braun, he had to say that St. George's all out for 95. Somerset won by 4 wickets. That'll be the one and only time you win at Wellington Oval this year, Mr. Braun.
Don't get your hopes up.
Yeah.
That's not the wicket we're gonna. That's not the pitch we're gonna play on.
That's a good preview for a cup match. See, you guys, Georges want to play so bad. Get prepared for 2 days too, mate.
No worries.
But Earl, I wonder. But Earl, I'm going to have a look at it tonight, right? Because I also used to think about it this way. Some of the players, especially at county, I get it, St. David's, right, and Bayless Bay. When I look at the different county teams, they have a better opportunity to shine in a bigger game than the league play at St. George's and Somerset. And I always used to say that they used to have an advantage because they still played the same amount of league cricket as us, fair enough. But when it came to the county games prior to cup match, they had that huge opportunity. And I always used to say that about like Western Stars, because you guys had to play Central Conus, right? And that was always that opportunity to shine in those games, to give you a better opportunity than the player at our club. Although, of course, the league players at our clubs will get the edge because we're a league player. But I used to think all the time, you guys have a great, the players that are on the outskirts, that are playing in the county, playing in the Central County, have a great opportunity. And you just have to take that opportunity and make the most of it, because I'm looking at all these players right now that are playing for St. David's, playing for Bay, playing all the county games. What better way to give yourself a golden opportunity to go ahead? Because imagine if you have 2 trial matches that are rained out, and you can't play, but those guys playing those games and score runs. So I think we really, really have to make the most of it.
Yeah. Again, and that was. Go ahead, Doc.
No, what I'm saying, you think about it now, St. George's, North Somerset, it's got the advantage because maybe some of the Somerset being so. Earl, when is the Western Conference and Eastern Conference final? They're going to be, both our games are before cup match, right?
The first round of Western County will play 2 rounds before cup match, and Eastern County play 1 round before cup match.
1, okay,
yeah.
So if a lot of these Somerset players that are trying to make cup match,
yes,
there'll be a good opportunity for them to shine early. A lot of the players. I know it's I know Warwick's got the trophy.
Yeah, Warwick has the trophy. Their first round game is against Somerset Bridge. They lost today by I can't remember if it was 3 out. So they won, but they lost by 7 wickets to Flats. Warwick Somerset Bridge made 149 and Flats got 150 for 3. Yeah. So.
But I'm pretty sure both of the cup match teams will probably have trials coming up on those days.
Oh, definitely. I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure the ones that are not playing Western County over the next 2 weekends will probably be playing up at Somerset and at St. George's. That's the opportunity to get those games in. Yeah.
And most definite.
And Earl, I'll just say this. Funny enough, I was talking to, and we're talking about different performances because the young players. I think Dominic Sabera just got a message from Ryan Steve. He was talking about, and he was talking about he's a really good player, and I'm hoping that the selectors and are definitely looking at casting the net so wide. Because you're pushed on a year on. Some of the players are pushing themselves out, due to age and everything like that. And just like I said, it's
he's just back from playing in the UK.
Yes.
Yeah, he was in school. He's one of the ones
I think
in school playing.
So I do, my message is I do hope, and I'll speak as a St. George's supporter right now, just for 1 second. I'm hoping that St. George's right now look to go ahead and cast the net so wide to refresh and to start looking, down the line. I think it's very, it's very important right now to start looking at these young players. I don't care if they're from Dockyard, I don't care if they're from wherever, but if they're good and they fit into the culture, then why not invite them down?
Yeah.
I agree, Dean, because if you look at it, you got to cast that net. You got you like you said, you don't care if they live up in Ward, Whitehall, or even Dockyard, because you have so many talented young players out there now. You don't want to lose them, you know.
No.
Because the little boy Dominic Saber, he his daddy is some people. I'm just saying, like, you know, these are good players that have been playing in the UK and got the advantage of a lot of our players that hasn't played yet. These guys have come back, they're already playing. You know, so surprise his make Toronto, any of the players that came back from the UK, you probably see them performing good in the early in the season, like right now.
Of course. Yeah. But you know what, Doc, and the other thing is when you and I don't just want to go ahead and say, you know, oh, he's from Dockyard and, you know, pick him or he's just a good player. But I think I think we need to go back to this in selecting players, whether they're from Somerset, Dockyard, whatever, Warwick, if they fit into the philosophy of St. George's cricket player or cup match player, you know, that's and the culture, if their personality fits into that fold, then why not go on and select them? It's almost like sometimes I think we're missing that point of when we select players to play for certain clubs. You know what I mean? Like for cup match, okay, first you're gonna pick you're looking to pick the best 22 players, but also in that selection point, do they fit into that mold that we're looking for, that personality that we're looking for? And I think that we need to get back to that, because really and truly, there are some cup match players that played for Somerset, you know, or St. George's that wouldn't fit into Somerset's team because of their personality. You know what I mean? So I think that we need to get back to, you know, you can look at a player and say, oh yeah, that's a St. George's player. You know what I mean? We need to get, that's what makes that cup match thing. Oh yeah. That's what makes it different.
Yeah, definitely. That's one of the things I'm pretty sure, when you went Somerset, Doc, the executive had questions for you.
Of course. Yeah.
It's a lot of exciting players out there. Me and I'm coaching at the under 19 level, right? And under 15, I'm seeing them. It's a lot of exciting players that are out there in the UK playing now. And when they come back, you know, it's a lot. Trust me. I mean, they're from Cleveland, they're from Flats, you know, Warwick, all different clubs, and they're all playing just good. But there's a lot of exciting good players out there that's looking really good. And I'm coaching a few and I'm seeing these boys are really good, you know.
Yeah.
And Earl, just to add to that, I mean, your club has to market themselves. If these young players, you better market your product so good, because I'm going to tell you, they would tell you, nope, I'm not feeling it. I'm going this way. Yeah. So really and truly, you have to have a strong product, you know, for them to say, I want to be a part of this. You cannot just say you can, because these young players are totally different. Yeah, they're totally different.
Mr. Braun has a statement for you. Hey, Dean, don't even think about it. Don't even think about approaching Sabir. You're begging in St. George's now. He played football for us, and he will play cup match for us. Get cracking. Mr. Braun, so you're saying you're taking him this year? Because some of these guys don't have the patience to wait. And hey, some of them just want to play. And if he's knocking on the door up the West End or ringing the doorbell and there's no answer, hey,
trust me, Earl,
listen. Don't let me see him in my travels.
That's family roots. Trust me, that's family roots. It's a rule.
Family roots are meant to be broken at some time.
Okay. It'll be that will be interesting though.
Well, guys. Obviously, that hour went by really, really fast. You know, but we will definitely pick up where we left off this week to talk about more cup match talk. Obviously, as we get closer, more Eastern County, more Western County, and as well as more league cricket. I guess next week this time we will have the second round of Premier Division matches and First Division matches, tables, who won, who lost. We'll be able to do all of that, have a better understanding of who's looking good and who's not. But hey, Dennis, you guys calling Gennaro? Hey,
Probably, yeah.
guys.
The nervous. The nervous.
Let's do it.
Somebody asked me. Somebody asked me, "Are we calling Lionel?" I'm like, "Why?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Why?"
I don't even think it's playing this year.
Lionel said it's packed.
I think now. Yeah, he's packed it in. So
Well,
it'll be interesting. It's going to be interesting.
all good things must come to an end.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's going to be this year. It's going to be interesting. Very interesting.
Very much so. Yeah. Looking forward to it. Guys, enjoy your night. Doc,
So George is
get some runs on Tuesday, see? Oh, we have a prediction. Bronny says the game be over by 4 p.m. on Friday. No problem. It'll be streaming light blue and dark blue all around Wellington Oval because it would be over at 4 o'clock for St. George's victory. Guys, have a good night.
Dean shaking his head.